What's up, DLLS Mavs Nation? It is our live watch along here on DLLS Sports. Kevin Gray, our Mavericks beat writer Tim Cato, Bobby Corella will be joining us here momentarily. We appreciate all of you hanging out with us tonight. It is our second live watch along this season. We're looking to make our record 1-1 in such watch alongs this year. A big night for the Mavericks. Happy New Year to you, by the way. Hopefully you're having a safe and happy New Year with your friends and your family. And we get to watch the Mavericks basketball together. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe while you're here to DLLS Sports. Do the same for our podcast as well. And we'll be reading some of your thoughts in the chat as well throughout the course of the night. We'll have some of our own conversation as the game progresses, but also obviously watching the game and seeing how the Mavericks hopefully look to break what is a 2-game losing streak and get their first win as we start a busy month of January for the Dallas Mavericks. They got the first of 16 games tonight in the month of January. So looking forward to that. So again, Mavericks get Derek Lively back. They got Klay Thompson back.
You want to eat off camera and then I'll do the same? Or should we just eat on camera? Is that bad form?
I mean, yeah, why not eat on camera? I mean, folks are going to be eating their wings and, you know, eating their food throughout the course of the night as well. So why not? It's not rude. We're just eating amongst friends. That's all it is. Tip-off about to take place right now.
Sorry, that was my butt.
Between the Mavericks and the Rockets. We are underway at Toyota Center in Houston.
Yeah, so we don't have a score bucket in the corner, but 11:50 in the first quarter. If you're trying to sync up with us, PJ Washington is posting up on the first possession. Who could have imagined?
Oh my God, he missed? No way.
Oh, but Derek Lively already making his presence felt with the offensive rebound and put back on the very first possession of the game.
I've made it known to everyone in the world that will listen that I think the Mavs are just donating their first possession of the game to charity these days.
The designated PJ Washington post up.
Yeah, and it hasn't. They scored there because they got a rebound. Otherwise, they have not scored on that in. I think
this has been
when
about
was
5, 6, 7
when was
games.
Thanksgiving?
A month ago, more than a month ago.
Like they come up empty on their first possession of the game every single game.
Yeah, the bit was cool at the beginning when they started doing it, but then after a while, it's like, okay, we don't have to do this over and over and over again. But like any good bit, you got to be committed to it, and the Mavericks are clearly committed to that one.
Yeah,
yummy.
I didn't like that.
I got some chicken enchiladas with beans and rice
From a place we will not name.
I got to say,
they don't sponsor us.
It has a scent to it that I'm not really into.
Uh-oh.
That was a very nice pass, Klay Thompson.
When has that stopped me?
I mean, we're already seeing it in the first couple of minutes, but Derek Lively, the difference that he makes on the floor already, he's already got the first 4 points for the Mavericks.
I don't know if that will be considered. It probably actually will be counted as a transition stat. But, yeah, we talked in the pregame that this is a really hard team to score against in transition, but turns out running the court.
That was not counted as a fast break point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But it was. You know, like I am here to tell you that was because
Lively
was
running
not
the floor.
Yeah, that was Lively running the floor, and it was Houston not completely set.
So club is, I'm assuming you say how you say it, club. Do you know why they do the PJ thing to start off the game? Like
it's a bit. That's the only explanation.
The only other thing I can think of is just trying to get PJ actively involved early in the game from the outset to get his confidence going. Especially when you got Luke and Kyrie on the floor together. 100%. PJ Washington is in a lot of ways, you know, going to have to be a dependable third scorer. So maybe getting him involved early on. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, but a post up, there's been a whole, you know, this is a whole deal. Post up is like the least efficient shot in basketball.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the play itself is efficient at all, but it's.
Yeah, that's like, I'm going to draw up a play every game for the first shot of the game to go to PJ from half court.
Klay Thompson just made
that's
a
9:30
in the first quarter on our feed right now.
We'll just do it every like commercial break we can reset, I think.
Sounds good. But people are probably still tuning in.
That's true. Yeah, maybe more to start off.
Yeah, I like PJ post-ups against mismatches, against smaller players.
Yeah.
When you start every single possession, every single game with one, and here's a transition three.
We're starting to see a little bit more of that from PJ too in terms of transition threes. And Tim, you said it throughout the course of the year or the beginning of the preseason that, you feel like there's a good, confident three-point shooter in there, and PJ shooting nearly 40% from the three-point line, which is a career best for him throughout his young career. So
I'm not sure I love pull-up transition threes from him.
I don't know if it's just a great thing, but clearly the confidence is there for Washington when it comes to his the way he feels about his three-point shot these days.
Is that Club?
Yes.
His vote is for a Clay corner three for every first possession. I think that's a great idea. I don't know why they don't run that play.
Another way to get a guy involved early on from a confidence standpoint.
We're obviously both being sarcastic.
Yes.
I'm matching yours. I'm not Club. I'm just matching yours. But I do think that's a great.
See, now if they had posted up PJ against Fred VanVleet on the first play like they did,
exactly that
that makes sense. I think Bobby would be a lot more happy with that versus
but it's also like a scouting thing too. I mean, like the Mavs are going to give PJ the ball the first possession of the game, so in the huddle you can just say just don't switch.
Yeah,
it's a simple down screen, or just like he just establishes himself, just don't switch. But within the flow of the game, it's a lot harder to remember that rule or whatever.
And he started left, brought it back to his right on that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. Battle of Interstate 45.
It's a Texas showdown, man. Texas showdown. Of course, the Mavericks will be back at home on Friday when they get ready to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Mavericks finishing up their 4-game road trip in Houston before welcoming in Donovan Mitchell in the Cleveland Cavaliers. Best record in the Eastern Conference still right now.
We talked about this, right? Did you have a strong opinion about Donovan Mitchell versus Devin Booker? Do you think Devin Booker is clearly better?
I like Booker more than Mitchell, yeah. PJ this year, 47% on post-ups, which averages out to whatever that is. I don't know. Under a point per possession.
Yeah, excluding. I mean, literally, it's just 0.94.
Yeah, but he also gets fouled
but also
turns it over.
Yeah.
Luka on post-ups this year, 21%.
Shooting 21%?
He has 21% FG on post-ups.
Wow.
That's not very good.
Wow.
And he's he's one of the better post-up players in the league over the last 5 years.
So are you trying to tell me that PJ Washington this year has been literally twice as better?
He's twice as good as Luka
On post-ups? Klay Thompson knocking down his second three within the first 4 minutes of the first quarter.
I like that there's no rhyme or reason as to when a Klay Thompson three is going to fall. He makes the contested ones as often as he makes the wide open ones, it feels like, this season.
By the way, officially no Tari Eason for tonight's game for Houston.
Now, that was a choice.
Klay is a flamethrower early on. Klay's got 3 threes as the Mavericks lead 15 to 6 with 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
What's his season high so far this year?
The 29 that he had against the Golden State Warriors.
Do we think he's going to hit 40 in a game?
No.
In the entire tenure of his Mavericks career?
Yeah, I bet he will.
I think so, too.
Interesting note with Klay Thompson knocking down 3 of his first 4 threes tonight in the game.
You basically need 9 threes. 9 threes would get you
You need a napkin.
10. You need 10 threes?
Let him get a napkin.
No.
I'm just joking.
I'm saying 10 threes.
I'm telling you, you need a napkin. That's what you need.
Why? What does it look like right now?
It's looking a little messy, my guy. It's looking a little messy. It looks like it's good, though. It looks like whatever you got is good, though. Oh, except on the okay, got foul.
That would not have been a foul unless PJ had gone out of bounds.
That's right. I agree. By the way, interesting note, Klay Thompson hitting 3 of his first 4 threes tonight against the Houston Rockets. He also had a milestone mark when they played the Rockets the first time this season. He hit his career 2,500th three-pointer in that game against the Rockets back on October 31st. Since then, has passed Reggie Miller for 5th all-time as far as the
4.5 minutes first stint for Derek Lively.
For Derek Lively there.
A mid-range pull-up. Honestly, whenever he shoots a jumper in from like 15 feet or in.
We're talking about PJ Washington.
Talking about PJ. It looks so weird to me because he almost always goes to the push shot. The push shot floater.
Daniel Gafford with a nice block there.
Have we ever seen PJ Washington shoot a turnaround? Like his jump shot just like doesn't like scale to turn around very well. You know what I mean?
That Jalen Green jumper ends what was an 8-0 run for the Mavericks.
That's old on old violence right there. Van Vliet stripping
Klay Thompson there.
That's ageism.
That was really sloppy with the ball.
It was, yeah. All right.
Yeah, that was a little much there.
Calm down, Clay.
He was feeling himself a little too much, I think, on that one. Şengün blocked for the second time in the last 3 possessions by the Dallas Mavericks there. We've reached the 6:27 mark of the first quarter. Mavericks up 17-10 in the first 5.5 minutes of this game. Klay Thompson already with 3 threes for Dallas. Dallas also has 2 blocks so far in this game. What we didn't mention during the pregame show, the Mavericks had a season-high 13 blocks in that game against the Sacramento Kings. Daniel Gafford had 5 of those in that losing effort to Sacramento. So good start for Dallas. So they've used an 8-0 run to help push this lead as well. But Klay Thompson off to a nice start for Dallas tonight.
I agree. I do think he's going to get 40 at some point in his Mavericks career. I'm not making that prediction tonight. It would be
Tanner says tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
Is your mic on, by the way?
I mute it sometimes and then unmute it.
Okay, but we do have live Tanner
yes,
microphone.
I can talk right now.
Okay,
until
cool.
Stein gets here, and then I can't.
There needs to be a mindset adjustment on this team of like, when you know that your 5 is, first off, when you know that your 5 is going to block a shot, then you have to like steer your guy into the guy that's going to hunt blocks. But also, if you know that you have guys that can block shots, and this extends beyond Lively and Gafford, this also goes to Maxey, it goes for PJ, I guess Dwight, but that means that there's no such thing as a guarantee, right? There's no guarantee that that guy's going to lay it in. There's no guarantee that that dunk is going to connect. There's no guarantee that the play is over. So any even small little instant of let up, a little mbop of inaction is enough to create a second chance opportunity. Because when dude blocks shot, it's not always going to be a block that goes out of bounds. It's not always going to be a block that is corralled by somebody else. Sometimes that block is going to carry him to you. And it's either you or your man. And typically, you're going to be in between your man and the basket, which means if that ball's coming your way, you should have an advantage. But if you're already kind of like, whatever, rolling your eyes because dude got beat, or if you're, running down the floor to go fill the corner because you think they're going to score or whatever, then your man is getting that tip out and your man is dunking it. And that's 2 points that they shouldn't have had. So that's that's a very tangible example of like why rebounding is always a 5-person thing. It's not just your big versus their big, or a guy that's closest to the ball, or tallest guy, or whatever. It is all 5 players on the defense. You have no idea where the ball is going to go. And when you have a shot blocker, you extra have no idea where the ball is going to go, because it could go off the rim, it could go off the backboard, it could go out to midcourt. You got to be ready to go get it.
In soccer, they have very scripted, rotations or patterns of, if you're holding 6, the guy at just in front of your back 4, if he dribbles the ball, if he carries the ball, out of his position, you have a fullback or another midfielder rotating in to fill his space. Kind of sounds, like kind of similar concept. If like your shot blocker is coming out to, he's going to vacate that area. You need another player rotating in to fill that area.
But it's not just about going to the basket, though, because that ball, again, could go out to the free throw line or to the three-point line or to midcourt or whatever. Like, everyone has to be paying attention. Oh, my God. They're already in the bonus, and he just fouled him while he was out of bounds. That puts me in a sour mood. Dude, what is he doing?
That's Klay Thompson's second personal foul, by the way.
Dude, you're 35 years old. You know better than that.
So something to keep watch for in the first half. Klay Thompson with 2 fouls in the first.
That's a second foul. This is brutal. And after forcing 3 shots in a row, like, come on, man. Walk in.
That's a travel. Was that not a travel?
2 feet on the ground the whole
time. Okay. That interesting bucket by Daniel Gafford stopped what was an 8-0 run.
My mic's away from me, but you would not get away with that in high school ever.
I would, yeah. Tim says you would not get away with that in high school, but you do in the pros.
When was the last time that Dylan Brooks had a bad game against the Mavs? It feels like that guy is always, like, whatever his season high is, it always comes against Dallas. Clay, you and I are going to need to have a chat, buddy.
The game where Slovenia got eliminated from FIBA. He fouled out. He was pretty bad that game. Oh, you said the Mavs.
Yeah.
But against Luka.
Oh, Luka's not playing tonight.
Well, whatever.
Clay's got his pocket picked twice already, dude.
Yeah, Van Vliet got him.
Daniel Gafford is too big to be flopping like that. Come on.
In the first matchup, Brooks was 6 of 15, 2 of 9 from 3.
Damn it. That is a pretty bad game.
Yeah.
A lot of fouls. What's y'all's favorite kind of bean? Comment below. I used to be like, I was a huge baked bean fan. Like with the brown sugar and kind of like the sort of like sweet baked beans. But now I'm black beans all the way. I love black beans. Black beans are so good.
Refried beans are good.
Refried beans are nice.
Refried.
Not really a bean, but
Or good.
no, very good. I had some last night.
You can't talk if you're not in the mic, dude.
Yeah, I can. I just did it.
Pinto, baked beans. Pinto? 2 pintos? What are the chances? Wow. I've never been a big pinto guy. What does that say? Charo beans? Oh, charo beans are so good. Oh, my God. Oh, charo beans are so good. Inauspicious last few minutes here. 3:45 left.
What other contenders do we have for most athletic team in the NBA? I mean, low-key, kind of Boston. But not in terms of like pure max vert.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking like speed, length, verticality, explosiveness, Houston, I think it's like a large gap between them and whoever's next. A large gap, dude. I mean, I think the Hawks
are pretty athletic.
The Jazz, maybe. At least their front court.
Cleveland.
13 free throws against 0. Oh, my God. It's been that bad? Let's go, Maxey.
Maxey 3.
Oh, J-Kid is apoplectic after that. I actually used it right that time. J-Kid almost went on the floor after that play to complain. He's still... Dude, J-Kid is pissed right now. You see him?
Yeah.
Yeah, pacing up and down the
He's
floor.
furious. He had a foot on the court.
Yeah.
And we say he's not animated.
Dwight Powell, really nice.
I mean,
Dwight Powell is a shot blocker.
Jason Kidd is putting himself into a situation for a Rocket to run into him and get a technical foul. A classic move of his back in the day against Mike Woodson. Yeah.
An act of war.
Act of war. That's aggressive. Hardy lost Van Vliet there.
You're not that guy, pal. Oh, shoot it.
Timeout on the floor in the first quarter. Mavericks up 26-24 with 2 minutes left. Quentin Grimes knocking down a three-pointer in the right corner, the latest bucket for the Dallas Mavericks that gave them the 2-point lead.
They've had a couple of possessions where they've had guys going to the rim. Like Hardy's been going to the basket. He's had a couple plays in a row now where he's putting the ball on the floor, making something happen, kicking it out to a shooter. The Grimes play, he made the shot. This last one, kicked it out, swing. Kyrie attacks, gets a foul. That's how it has to start. It has to start that way. And like, it's easier to do that whenever Kyrie's on the floor because just everybody is overreacting to anything Kyrie does. But
yeah,
against the Kings, everything was outside in, dude. It was like guys going to face up and just try and hopelessly do something.
Yeah.
You have to put the ball on the floor. You have to get inside the defense. Force somebody to help off. Force somebody to react.
We're talking about all the times
where
there's a touch in the paint. Got to touch the paint.
Yeah, you have to. And Hardy was able to do that a couple times in a row, which is really good because whenever he's at his best, he's doing that. Whenever he's at his worst, he's settling for the 18-foot pull-up or he's just, like dribbling aimlessly into nothing. But he's attacking with purpose, with intent. And that is a very, very important aspect to his game. Excuse me, because he is probably still at this point the quickest player on the team. He's certainly one of, if not the fastest player on the team. And he and probably Kyrie are the only two guys that just have the speed to just turn around and get past their man without needing to waste a bunch of dribbles to get something going. Like, he's just able to floor it and make something happen.
Once he's able to fully control and harness that and continuously slow the game down for him where he's making better decisions, you talk about touching the paint, being able to make these happen, play with purpose, getting to the rim, doing all the things, but doing so in a much more controlled fashion. I think that's kind of the next progression for him. He's got to be able to do that on a much more consistent basis to be able to really, I think, have the kind of effect coming off the bench that I think some folks think he can have given the potential.
Some guys never do, though.
And that's the thing. When will that eventually?
Yeah, when did Dennis learn to control his speed and athleticism?
Never really.
Yeah, and I mean, it's very hard.
Yeah.
But like Hardy has a unique challenge because he's really fast and quick, but he is not explosive. He's not a good leaper. It's like he's able to get past his man, and then he goes to the rim and thinks like, I'm gonna lay it in, watch this, and then he gets his shot blocked. So like he's like a really rare example of a guy that is blindingly fast but still needs a lot of space to get a shot off. Normally it's like you can do one or the other. But yeah, I mean, he's still got a lot of untapped potential if he's able to figure it out.
Quentin Grimes 3-pointer with 2.5 minutes left of the first quarter ended what was an 18-6 run by the Houston Rockets to get them up what was 24-23. Then Grimes 3-pointer put the Mavericks back up to a 26-24 as we are just under 2 minutes left based on what we're watching in the first quarter between the Mavericks and the Houston Rockets as we're doing our live watch along here on DLLS Sports. Again, really appreciate all of you joining us here as well. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to DLLS Sports while you're here as well. We'll have our post-game show about 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes or so after the game is over with our National NBA Insider, Mark Stein, as well. So make sure you stay with us throughout the course of the night here. And Happy New Year. Happy New Year 2025 to you as well.
I like that attack from Grimes, even though he didn't get it to fall.
2 feet in the paint again, Hardy. That's like 3-4 possessions in a row for him now. Like, not to be like a guy, but like every time. Literally every time you touch the ball, get in the lane. Every single time, unless you're open for three on the catch.
I mean,
no one can stay in front of you. Nobody.
Yeah. I mean, Jason Kidd talks about it all the time. We've got to be able to touch the paint. Touch the paint. And good things happen for us. He's used that line quite a bit throughout his tenure.
Look at this Dwight Powell anchored defense making stuff happen. Recently passed the 10-year anniversary of adding Dwight to the mix. Entering
the
year
Dwight
number
Powell,
11 of
the
Dwight Powell in the mix.
trade they made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, I know you're not going to want to hear this. I know you're not going to want to. But given what they gave up, great trade for the Mavs, honestly. Like, it's proven to be a really good trade. You get a long-term rotation player, starter on a lot of good teams.
And just
all you gave
veteran,
up is
a very good veteran.
Yeah, and you gave up what, Jameer Nelson, Brandon Wright, Jay Crowder. Now, trading Jay Crowder at the time, only the real nerds like me like Jay Crowder. He went on to have a pretty good year, or pretty good career. Like, there was like a 4 or 5 year period where he was like a really, really good player.
Was a starter on a finals team eventually.
Yeah, and he had a couple really nice playoff runs, but ended up being a pretty good trade. 2 feet in the lane. That's okay. That's okay.
That is the end of the first quarter. Mavericks up 30-24 on the Houston Rockets at the end of one as the Mavericks looking to break their 2-game losing streak as the Mavericks take a 6-point lead going into the second quarter. Take a quick look at the box score from the first period. Klay Thompson got off to what was a really nice start for Dallas. He was able to knock down 3 of his first 4 3-pointers in the game as well. So good start for Klay Thompson. I'll have to check that because are they saying one of those threes that he made to a 2? Okay. Because it was 3 of 4, but as I look at the box score, it looks like they've updated. One of those threes is now a 2. So Klay Thompson officially 3 of 6 from the field in the first quarter, 2 of 4 from the 3-point line with 8 points for Klay Thompson in that first period. So,
player of the game so far, Jaden Hardy.
I'm gonna go Derek Lively. I mean, the instant energy and difference that he. I mean, the very first possession, PJ Washington misses a bucket. Lively gets an offensive rebound and the putback. Next possession, was able to get a nice basket at the rim. Like, the energy is just completely different with him on the floor, and you can just feel you can feel it through the television. Honestly, just the way that he plays.
Could argue they've been some of the best NBA players this calendar year.
Dude,
I was like, wait, what?
GM Ben, are you in the chat? What are we gonna do? What can I do?
He was there in the pregame show.
You don't want to ask
Stomy-
GM Ben for help because he made the same joke. He said UT Arizona State game was the best game of the year.
All right,
So he's not going to help
the
you.
stream. Can we talk real quick?
We'll be right back.
PJ for me. PJ's been good. PJ has been good.
PJ in the first quarter, 2 of 4 from the field, 4 points, 2 rebounds, a block shot. Doing what PJ does these days, just stuff the stat sheet.
Rare in a quarter where I know Clay made some shots, but rare in a quarter where he just gets his pocket picked clean twice. And Kyrie, did Kyrie even score?
0 points, 0 of 3.
Yeah.
When they both are just kind of like, and you're still winning. Like, shout out to all those other guys.
What a block.
That's pretty horrendous defense. Jaden Hardy is no
Yes.
longer my player of the game. Ooh, this is a key stretch of this game. Dinwiddie Hardy backcourt.
Good defensive stretch from Grimes there.
And Lively back in to start the second quarter as well. Remember, Lively on a 15 to 18 minutes restriction tonight, Jason Kidd saying prior to the game. As Lively back, of course, after missing the last few games with the left hip contusion. So
Hardy basket again. That man lost a contact.
yeah,
It's
that's
happened
what
to
it's
the best
looking
of
like.
us.
Yeah.
Happened to me the other night.
Oh, really?
I was up there. We were watching the.
Oh, is that why you had to step off to the
Oh
side?
my God,
Yeah,
dude!
okay.
Like my eye felt like it was. I needed to rip my eye out of my head for like a minute.
that's
and a half.
why he
Ooh.
was like, "Hey guys, don't look at me for a second."
Yeah, like if you're a little squeamish when it comes to
Yeah,
people
got
touching
it.
their eyes, then don't look over here because I did dig that thing out. It was not where it's supposed to be.
10:29. It just went to commercial break.
Hardy just got away with smacking Jabari Smith right in the face.
Yeah.
He's back to being my player of the game.
I don't have any ill will towards Jabari.
Yeah, but if you get away with smacking someone, Yusuf Nurkic didn't get away with slapping someone.
All right, I knew he was gonna get a
Najee Marshall didn't get away with
I
slapping
knew it.
someone. Jaden Hardy
innocent.
did.
By the way, Bobby, you'll love this. In the first quarter, Mavericks out-rebounded the Houston Rockets in that first quarter, despite all the fouling that the Mavericks were doing. They did out-rebound the Rockets in that first quarter there.
Hard to get offensive rebounds when you're just shooting 2 free throws every time down the floor.
The Houston Rockets, of course, the best offensive rebounding team in the league coming into tonight's game, had 0 offensive rebounds in the first quarter against Dallas. So,
Isn't Van Vliet just bad? He is shooting 38%. That's so bad. He has been a relatively inefficient scorer for a while now.
and that's a thing for Houston. They can't shoot.
Yeah, but Van Vliet is like at his, even though he's small, he's pretty small for his size. He's still a competitive defender, a willing defender. Pretty good floor set, like table setter. Can get to the basket a little bit. Like he still has a lot of like winning traits despite being a pretty inefficient player.
I think one of the things that Houston Rockets thought when they were getting Fred VanVleet to come over, I thought they kind of overpaid to get him, but that's another conversation for another day. An adult in the room. They had a lot of young guys. They needed some veteran guys to kind of be some of the adults in the room.
They needed to reach the salary floor.
That too.
He's super, super low turnover. He has basically the best turnover rate among point guards this season. He's consistently 80th, 90th percentile throughout his career. So some of what some of the efficiency that he loses from, just not being a, 50-40 guy, he makes it up because he doesn't throw away possessions himself. He's also very high, assist percentage guy. Very versatile. What I was going to look up was...
I think that's important whenever you're playing with Şengün and with Jalen Green, Jalen Green is like your very prototypical like combo guard guy, and then Şengün's got a little bit of Jokic to him. Like there's certain kind of like Fred VanVleet is not Jamal Murray, but they're sort of similar in some ways. Like they're just like
game
they're not
just
really
came
point
back,
guards.
10:23 on the clock.
But they play well off others, catch and shoot, threat, pull up a little bit. You don't need them to get in the paint because you have other guys that can do it for you. Cam Whitmore getting the minutes for Tari Eason tonight. Let's see if Cam Whitmore makes the Mavs pay. He hasn't been playing a lot this year.
In another world, Dallas might have drafted him.
Was that the Taylor Hendricks draft?
Yes.
The Derek Lively draft.
Yeah.
Yes. Do not believe Dallas would have drafted Hendricks.
Oh, if they had stayed there.
Well, I believe he went 9th.
Yeah, he went.
Yeah,
ninth.
Hendricks went 9th. But
Even if he
Did
had
Dallas
gotten
have
to
their
10.
eyes on Dick?
no, they did not.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, nifty
wow.
finish by
Okay,
Quentin Grimes.
Grimes.
Wow.
That was awesome.
That was really cool.
Wow.
Oh, get that shit out of here.
Like, come on, man. Like,
Oh my God, that was so cool.
That was
Derek Lively.
Oh, yeah, I forgot we can curse. That was a fucking sick play.
Okay, Grimes on the step back. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. How about that sequence from the Mavs? You got a beautiful
Lively
transition
Grimes,
layup
Lively Grimes.
by Grimes. Lively with the block shot on the other end. Then Grimes comes back down on the other end, knocks down a three-pointer. Mavs up 9 with 9 minutes
I've
left in
said
the
this,
second
but like
quarter.
I wish he would. I would be willing, or I think it's fine if he did a little bit more of that, especially like particularly in games when Kyrie and Luka are out.
Who is that Aaron Holiday? Who's that guy?
Yes, it is Aaron Holiday.
Okay.
Did you see Drew Holiday the other day when the reporter was asking him about getting hands on balls and the meme that popped up? You hadn't seen that yet? Nope, just me. You see it in the chat. Let me know if you've seen it. Okay. Go make a joke about it, but you know you've seen it, so never mind. Don't worry about it. It's cool.
Unfortunately, Aaron Holiday is going to drop out of the rotation for Houston until their MLK Day game. They're only playing holidays.
Jesus, dude.
Golly, bro.
You're the worst person I've
I'm
ever
sitting there
known.
looking at you like, what you about to say? What's about to happen over here? What
Yeah.
are you doing over here?
That's New Year's Day.
Okay.
I wonder, with Luka out and with the schedule being so tough, what happens if they lose like 6 or 7 games in a row? Like, does their pick become a little more valuable? Or will
Spencer did when he knocks down a three-pointer, making 40 to 30 with 8-12 left.
I just wonder. I wonder.
It's just really hard to make a trade and not a trade that nominally improves the team with your own first round pick, and teams to think, oh yeah, we're gonna get a
Yeah, but what if they're around 500? But also, it's like the value of a pick now, especially in the 20s, like the early to mid 20s or even late 20s, is like that player's making $2.5 million or $3 million or whatever the cap is, like 150. That is so cheap. That's so like we're almost to the point now where first round picks make less than the vet minimum. Like that's really, really cheap.
But that's a little bit the other tricky thing is if you're making a trade to improve the team, you're probably trading with one of the bottom 15 teams in the league, and having those early 20s, the early 20, 21, 22, 23. That's more valuable for the top 15 in the league. That's not to say it's not valuable for a worse team, but it's especially the contenders who already have their maxes dealt out.
There's some bad teams that are in cap hell.
Yeah, and like good team-friendly contracts are good team-friendly contracts in any context. But I guess that would be the one slight.
Yeah, I read Christian Clark's article today. The Mavs' new athletic guy. You've heard of that website, The Athletic?
I have.
So Christian Clark is the new Mavs dude. Really nice guy. In that article, it was mostly about Luka's injury and guys needing to step up or whatever. But there was a little bit of a throwaway line that ended up getting aggregated today. But basically, the gist is based on what he's heard from other teams. This isn't coming from the Mavs, but from other teams. Other teams believe the Mavs are trying to get a wing, like a perimeter defending wing, which we've been saying for most of the season that they need to shore up the power forward spot. But right now, the Mavs are eyeing a perimeter defender, which Tim, you've been saying. That they need to find a Jones replacement. They don't really have that right now. And he mentioned Herb Jones by name, and obviously Herb Jones like the most sought after 3-and-D player of all time right now. So the Mavs are almost certainly not going to be able to get Herb Jones. But apparently that is something the Mavs are considering trying to do. Now, we don't need to talk about this during the game, but I'm just thinking about it right now because it's just, us. It's just guys being dudes. What's better than this? But I'm trying to think of a player that would have that ability that would also fit into the rotation and not be like redundant. Like, how are you going to trade for a perimeter defending player and also still have Luka, Kyrie, and Klay in your starting lineup and have PJ in your starting lineup and have Lively in your starting lineup? Like, you going to trade a couple picks and some players for a seventh man? Like, what is I just don't know. I don't know if that's even worth it.
Boy, are you ready to have the conversation about one of those players being not in the starting lineup?
I've been ready since the Mavs got Klay.
I mean, if they are ready to seriously have that discussion, that might be the solution to.
But Klay's been playing well. Oh, Maxey.
Is that Şengün who got knocked in the face?
Did you just break something? That looks like he's in big pain.
Oh, Uncle Jeff is still on the Rockets. How about that? Talking about Jeff Green there. Oh. Maxey on the way down with the left arm.
Dude, he's making it count.
Clubs Alperen Şengün smack in the face.
Oh, come on,
we're not
dude.
reviewing this. Come on. We're not reviewing this.
That's Ben Taylor, right? 46, Ben Taylor?
Ben Taylor, yes.
Yeah.
It is.
There's absolutely no way. Common foul, play on, 2 shots, get the fuck out of here.
This does not rise to any level of flagrancy at all. Please.
He's trying to save his own life. Like he's not even looking like.
Yeah, obviously. So flagrants are not just about intentionality. It's about unnecessary or excessive content.
There's no anything excessive.
I do feel like intentionality has to come into play here a little bit in the sense that it was literally intentionality to like land correctly.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could still argue that Maxey jumped pretty recklessly. If they end up giving this as a flagrant one,
He's
that's
trying to block a shot.
Yeah, that's egregious. Like he's trying to block the shot, then he starts to come down. He's flailing his
trying
arms
to not die.
He's not. Yeah, he's trying to eventually catch his own landing. He just happened to catch Şengün in the face.
I think they're probably going to give this as a flagrant one.
If they do, that is bullshit.
I'm just telling you. That's my hunch.
You can get suspended for that?
Shout out Reggie. I like this watch along. Thanks, big boss.
Thank you.
Big dog.
Who?
Reggie.
Reggie?
Yeah.
Oh, shout out. Let's go.
Rodney Mott, another official tonight. There was a very famous Luka ejection during the COVID season 2021. when Rodney Mott ejected Luka, and that was probably the most vitriol I've ever seen toward an official in my life.
What game was that?
I forget it was I don't remember, but I think Luka took a shot, like a half-court shot after a foul was called or something, and that was his second tech of the game. He got thrown out of the game. I forget the game.
Was that the game where he had that egregious look on his face, or was that a different
Here we go.
one?
Hang on. Yeah.
Ben Taylor.
Come on, dog.
Ben Taylor is the fucking worst, dude.
I'm sorry. That's a bullshit call. That is not. There is nothing flagrant about what Maxey did. Intent, non-intent. He's literally trying to catch his fall on the way down, and he happens to hit Şengün in the face. Like, come on, man.
What happened to the game?
We gotta
love?
Relax.
I'm just telling you guys.
Even
like,
Dylan Brooks is laughing about
because
it.
he know that's not a flagrant foul.
They do. I'm not. I agree with you guys, but this tends to be how they call it. Basically, if you make a lot of contact to a player's head, they will say you committed excessive contact.
Ball don't lie, bitch. Like, I don't disagree with what you're saying. Like,
I agree. Yeah,
I'm saying change the system.
But for the love of everything, man, like, come on.
Like, that is not. Like, yeah, that was unnecessary contact. All contact to the face is unnecessary. So, like, whoops. The other night, whenever two dudes, DeMar DeRozan elbowed whoever it was in the face, should that have been a flagrant? He elbowed him. Was it on purpose? No. Okay, so swallow your fucking whistle and keep the game going. No disrespect.
With all due respect. With all due respect. That's right. With all due respect.
Oh,
should that have been a flagrant?
I thought Maxey sat on his face. And I was like, dude, this is a children's broadcast.
This is now turned into already he made one of the two free throws.
Yeah.
So already a 3-point possession. Already as Cam Whitmore gets fouled and gets the bucket. So all in all, that turns into a 4-point possession for the Rockets, who have taken 16 free throws so far in tonight's game.
No more high noons. No, this is an unnamed tee, an unbranded tee.
Nice pass by Lively inside.
Mate's not a brand.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, mate is the type of tea.
Oh, it's a mate.
Yeah,
dude, you are so lame. That is so lame,
That's not
dude.
a foul.
Şengün is so lame.
That's not a foul.
Like, that guy is a con artist.
Reggie, your man Şengün's a foul merchant, man.
Reggie, talk to
come
to
on,
him.
dog.
Give him help. That brother needs help.
Wow.
That was like not even Dame Lillard is like, you know what? Good job. That was nice.
By the way, that is now 3 fouls for Derek Lively in the first half. So something else to keep watch for, as well as he's on that 15 to 18 minute minutes.
Şengün's feeling himself. He's gonna fall down again. He actually scored. Ethical hoops.
Derek Lively is to the bench. Daniel Gafford back on the floor for the Mavericks. Rockets on an 8-2 run right now to cut the deficit to 4 at 42-38 with 6.5 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, telegraphing that was certainly a choice.
There's a reason Luka looks off that pass every single time. Every single time.
Timeout on the floor. Rockets on a 10-2 run right now. Alperen Şengün's basket with 6:25 left has the Mavericks up 42-40 with 6.5 minutes left in the first half. A little bit of an early turning point in this game with that flagrant foul that led to what was a 4-point possession. Rockets have capitalized on that so far, as I mentioned, on a 10-2 run right now.
Houston's putting 2 on the ball and Kyrie coming off the screen. And so generally the Mavs' response to that is to have the big just sag way low so that it could just be like a pass over the top, catch, turn, and score. Kyrie does not have the strength that Luka does. Luka's able to zip that ball in at 100 miles an hour. Kyrie floated that one pretty bad. That was a reckless pass, in my opinion. If that is, going to be the way that he's going to pass the ball, you got to go get the ball. You can't sag off the way you would if it was Luka up there. You have to catch it at like the semicircle or even the free throw line and make something happen. You can't try and catch that thing near the restricted area. Rockets are just too good, too athletic. And Kyrie would complete that pass, to be clear, against most teams in the league. But the Rockets, very athletic team. You're not completing a pass like that against them.
We resume play with 6:15 left. Mavericks up 42-40 in the first half. Rockets in the middle of a 10-2 run right now. Let's cut the deficit to 2 points.
Ooh.
Oh.
All right.
Okay, goaltend. Okay.
There you go.
That was a nice little move Kyrie made. Oh,
goodbye.
goodbye.
Left Dylan Brooks in the dust a little bit.
He touched the net. You can't do
Touched
that.
the
Touch
Andrew.
the net.
Can't do that.
Bulbs in the cylinder.
Is that
man.
always called, though? Do they let people sometimes get away with that?
I don't know.
Yeah, Gafford is just...
Yeah, Shagun's about to eat him alive.
Shingun is eating
Yeah,
him alive.
he is.
Yeah,
Actually,
let's-
It is
let's
like
make
8
that
points,
point.
so that's like a
happening,
minute and a
yeah.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As PJ Washington is getting ready to check back in here soon for the Mavericks. But yeah, ever since Lively went out, they've just fed Shingun in the paint area and let him go to work on Gafford.
Need Jaden Hardy back in there. Dinwiddie's giving you nothing. You need someone to get the ball in the lane.
Rockets up 45-44, 15-4 run in the last near 3 minutes for Houston. They got a 1-point lead with 5 minutes left. In the
Third
first half.
turnover for Clay, dude.
Yeah, after what was a
How many
hot start
turnovers
for
per
Clay.
dribble? We talked
Yeah.
about 60 points on 11 dribbles. He got 3 turnovers on 2 dribbles.
Yeah. That's good math, Bobby.
I wouldn't mind seeing Quentin Grimes for Clay right now.
No boy. Oh, Şengün ending up on the ground? No way.
Likely place for him to be.
It's not Empire Today flooring down there, Alpy. If you want the best for you, got to come on DLLS Mavs.
Well, maybe it is, and that's why he keeps going to the ground.
Ooh, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
we should do some research.
Yeah.
He did extend both arms. Reckless decision by Maximilian. By Moxie. Oh my God.
Yeah, Gafford is getting killed.
His plus minus right now is not looking too good.
No,
What is
I
it,
mean,
Tanner? What is it? What is
if
it?
you're
What
the
is it?
Rockets,
Minus 21.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
serious?
Yeah.
yeah,
In 7 minutes, he's played 7 minutes and he's minus 21.
yeah,
Oh my God, dude, that's impossible.
yeah.
They're plus 10 with Lively. They're plus 8 with Dwight Powell, and they're minus 22 with
Oh
Davis.
my
22.
God, dude, there's no way.
I mean, the game plan is simple with Lively with the 3 fouls. I mean, you should go and put Gafford in the paint and just
See
go
you
to
later,
work.
Mark.
And Şengün has lived in the paint and has done absolute damage.
See you, Mark.
Minus, oh my God. And
Bye, Mark. Thanks for hanging
that,
out with us.
the ball don't lie there either. Dude, what a disappointment.
So they're going Maxey lone center now.
Listen, it's better to be early than late. I've been saying for a long time. I've been saying for a long. It's the Gafford thing is a problem. It's a problem.
I mean, you
against
said
good
in
teams.
the postgame show in our last for the last game that against good teams in the playoffs. I don't know if you necessarily needs to be
And I mean, I was saying it. I was saying it when I was working at the Mavs. last season during the playoff run. Like, Lively is the best big man. He should be playing the most minutes. He should be the starter. Like, there's no reason to keep that going on.
Then they started the season with Daniel Gafford as the starter.
Yeah, and how'd that turn out? Like, he's just clearly the second best center on their team, and
that's
I would
fine.
say tonight he might be their third best center on the team. Maybe even their fourth best center, and that cannot be the case for how much he's making.
Let's make that what is now a
21-4
run for the Houston Rockets over the last 4.5 minutes. They were up 51-44 with 3:15 left in the first half. So a lot of that damage being done by Alperen Sengun.
Hardy's back in, though, steadying the ship.
J-Kid heard you. Hardy's back out there.
That's right, as he should be. Hardy is he's better for this game than Dinwiddie is.
I would agree.
This game specifically. I don't think he's a better player than Dinwiddie right now. No. Yeah, he's not. He's not. Nice pass. Catch the ball.
Oh, boy. This second quarter has turned. What was kind of the turning point of this quarter here? A flagrant foul on Maxi Kleber ignited what has been a pretty now extended run by the Rockets over the last 4 minutes or so now.
He created like 15 feet of separation there, dude. That was so nice.
Wow. D-cell.
That was awesome.
Okay, attack again. Run it again. Jaden Hardy hits the three.
Ooh, Jaden Hardy puts it into what was a 23-4 run by the Rockets. Mavericks down 6, 53-47 with 2:20 left in the first half as the Mavericks try to get themselves within striking distance a little bit more going into the second half here. I mean, if you're the Rockets, though, there's no one to protect the paint for the Mavericks, so you might as well go attack the rim.
No one to protect the perimeter either.
Yeah.
That's the first time the ball has gone through the net for Kyrie. He had a goaltending as well, but
first.
Shit. What a block!
First bucket all year for Kyrie. Yeah, Maxi is he's slow to get up after that. He is up.
Back. There he is.
I don't see him signaling toward the bench or anything, so maybe he's all right.
Whoa. Wow.
okay.
Wow.
Jaden
Hardy with the Enrique Ogunbowale clear out, step back 3-pointer.
It's a 3-point game again. Look at that.
It is a 3-point game.
He even D'd up Sengun there, forced Sengun to make a turnover.
Wow.
Dude, Jaden Hardy, best player on the Mavs.
I thought we're bouncing back and forth between Lively and Hardy at some points being the best player in the game. But
no, it's been Hardy. It's always been Hardy. Always Hardy.
Okay.
Hardy party. They're putting out the plates. We got the.
I mean, it is New Year's Day, so why not? Whoa.
He hopped like twice.
Yeah.
I thought it was a travel when I looked at it, but it was like, eh.
No, I mean, whatever.
I mean, exactly. Yeah.
But still, come on.
Oh, yeah, that was not pretty. Oh, tough finish.
Jalen Green is on one.
Jalen Green.
This is a shocking lack of execution against the double team. Like they're not getting any good possessions out of these double teams, which is weird because like last year they were so good at playing 4-on-3, but they were used to it. This year they're never getting doubled, so it's almost like you almost have to relearn it all over again. You know.
Alperen Sengun, Jalen Green, Cam Whitmore combined 12 of 14 at one point in the second quarter here for the Rockets. Those have been the main three guys for for Houston.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Shoot it.
That is the end of the first half between the Mavericks and the Houston Rockets. The Rockets used what was a 23-4 run to turn what was a 10-point deficit into what would eventually be a pretty nice lead for them. They outscored the Mavericks 37-22 in that second quarter. Rockets up 61-52 at halftime over the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks, of course, in that tonight's game, looking to snap their 2-game losing streak in that first half. The only two guys in double figures for the Mavericks, Jaden Hardy with 10, Quentin Grimes with 10 points as well. Meanwhile, the Rockets had 4 guys in double figures, led by Jalen Green, who had a sensational second quarter. He's got 16 points in the first half on 7 of 11 shooting. Cam Whitmore was terrific in that second quarter as well. He's got 13. Alperen Sengun with 11, and Dylan Brooks also with 11 points. The Mavericks shot 50% from 3 in that first half, going 8 of 16 from downtown. But the Rockets overall, 50% from the field in the first half. Just 3 of 11 so far, though, from downtown. A big disparity, though, in terms of the free throw margin. Rockets shooting 19 free throws in that first half, going 14 of 19 from the charity stripe. Mavericks took only 3 free throws, going 2 of 3 from the free throw line. A couple other numbers from the first half. Mavericks bench outscoring the Rockets bench 27-17. But unfortunately, the Rockets have 13 points off of 8 Mavericks turnovers in the first half, as the Mavericks are down 61-52 at halftime.
Mavs are 50% from 3 and down big. You don't like to see that. It doesn't happen very often. Points off turnovers, Houston's +8. They're winning the game by 9. Mavs are just being way too careless with the ball. A lot of live ball turnovers. 3 from Clay, which is pretty stunning. You're getting less than nothing from Kyrie right now. So the fact that you're within 9 is something. But if the Rockets are going to keep doubling Kyrie all game, first off, I'm going to take a big fat L on my sleeper pick. But secondly, other guys have to step up and do something. And Hardy stepped up. Hardy's having a pretty good game. Quentin Grimes having a pretty good game. I need those guys on the floor more.
That's why I think I want him in over Klay Thompson, because you need someone to attack quickly for theory. That's not what Klay does anymore. And that his last turnover was trying to dribble under the baseline. Like, I'd much rather a very quick, very direct to the basket. Someone who can shoot it. If he gets that open, but I think this is a good. This strategy is a good strategy to have Grimes out there over Clay. And yeah, I mean, I think like Hardy makes more sense than Dinwiddie. We covered that. I think, I think Dallas is going to surge back ahead, or I think they're going to at least tie it up or something very close to that here in the opening minutes, because Lively's going to be back out there. This isn't just because it's plus, this is a plus minus thing, but underneath the plus minus is that he's the most effective center. He is the player who should be out there. He's the player they play best with on the court. I bet they surge back into this game, but I just don't know what happens after that. It could be wrong. Maybe it totally gets away with them, but that's not what this team has been all season. I bet it's very close. It's going to be really hard to win if you get those same sorts of, Gafford minutes and stuff like that. So I think, I'd like to see a little bit of, I'd like to see Kyrie working a little bit off the ball. So it's not just him, bringing up a pick and trying to solve the double from there. It'd be great to see a little bit of DHO stuff with him, with Lively, and see if he can, make a little bit quicker decision and get Houston a little bit discombobulated more so. But I don't know. I guess those are my early thoughts. Let me see. Cleaning the glass.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, you have to just be better with the ball. Kyrie has 3 turnovers, no assists, 2 made shots. Kyrie, be better. Klay Thompson, 3 turnovers, 3 made shots. Klay, be better. Y'all are the 2 best players on the team. 2 highest paid players on the team that are active tonight. combined for 6 turnovers, only 12 points. They need more from you. You have to be better. You have to step up. You have to have a real game. Daniel Gafford. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I mean,
like, seriously, minus 22 in 7 minutes.
Yeah,
2 rebounds, 2 fouls, 2 points. 1 of 3 shooting for a guy that shoots layups. Like, what is going on, man? I don't want to speculate, whatever. Sometimes people go through it. Sometimes you could have a rough life. You could be having a rough whatever.
It was just too easy for Şengün in the middle portion of that second quarter there. I mean, there were about 2-3 possessions in a row where they literally just had Şengün get as deep as you can into the paint on Gafford.
He's been a bad player for the last week or so. He was good in the first Portland game at home. Kind of forgot that he existed since then, or I wish that he didn't exist.
I think
he's been really bad.
I think 2 things can be true. I think this past week we are seeing the qualities that makes Gafford less effective against really good teams. I think we're seeing those qualities. We're seeing the reason that the plus minus has been so stark. Ever since he joined the Mavericks. This entire season. You can look back in the postseason run. I think we're seeing those qualities come out, but I also think this is like Gafford is not playing well. I think both are true. This is a particularly bad stretch of performances from Daniel Gafford right now. I think that even with his limitations, there is a better version of Daniel Gafford that we often see, even against matchups that aren't perfect. So
if Şengün is also a bad matchup for him, then who's a good matchup?
It's true though.
Like Şengün's taken 0 threes.
I just think some games he guards
in the lane.
Şengün better. Like
does he? Are you sure?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'd like to say so.
He played a lot of minutes against them on Halloween, and Şengün had an incredible game. So if you can't guard the stretch fives and you can't guard the bangers, Lively was the better option against Jokic, despite Jokic weighing 80 more pounds than Lively. Who was a good matchup? Unfortunately, and I'm not trying to be harsh or whatever. I'm not trying to just bitch and moan and complain and whatever. Like, right now, the players that Gafford dominates are underqualified backups. Bad backups on bad teams. He crushes them. And that's a useful trick to have. That's a really, really useful button to be able to say, hey, we're playing the Blazers tonight. We don't really want our stars to go too hard, so we're just going to dump it down to the big man that could just beat the hell out of their backup rookie. That's awesome. Okay, and he did that against the Blazers, and he's done that against bad teams all season long. All right, cool. You know who used to also humiliate backups? Dwight Powell. So are you going to be more valuable than Dwight Powell? If not, I will just play Dwight Powell, who is playing harder than you, is playing more physical than you, hustling more. Yeah, that's not a lie. Like, what are you good at? If you're not good at defending in space and you're not good at defending post-ups, what are you good at defending? If you're not good at scoring on big guys, if you're not good at scoring unless you're being spoon-fed lobs, then what are you good? What are you doing out there? What is your NBA skill? What are you contributing? And unfortunately, the last few games the answer has been not very much. And that isn't to say it's going to be the case the whole season. He's been really good for large stretches of this season, really productive at least. It's just over. I mean, it's just over the last couple of weeks, outside of the couple lousy teams that the Mavs played whenever they were healthy, he's kind of been a non-factor. And again, that in and of itself is not bad. It's not bad to have a center that just eats minutes. That's fine. A lot of teams do that. But given the expectation, given that you're missing Luka, you need guys to step up. Given the financial aspect, like of his contract, he makes 5 times or something, 3 times what Derek Lively does. You got to give something. You have to give something. And that's just not been happening lately.
And then to compound that with the lack of point of attack defense, especially in that second quarter there, the Rockets had license to get to the rim pretty much at will in the second quarter. Despite the Mavericks had 7 blocks in the first half, they had a season high 13 in the game against the Sacramento Kings. But when you're not getting the requisite paint protection that you need in some shape, form, or fashion from your big men who are either in foul trouble in terms of Lively's case had 3 fouls, had to sit in good portions of this half, who's already on a minutes restriction tonight, and guys are getting to the rim pretty much at will. That makes for a recipe. Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you, though.
Chat, I want these chips.
That creates a recipe for what was a 23-4 run over a 5-minute span for the Rockets. As again, they lead 61-52 at halftime. Both of these teams coming into tonight's game were on a 2-game losing streak. The Rockets have been doing the bit. Maybe, you know what? To shed a little positivity on this game, maybe the Mavericks have the Rockets right where they want them, because the Rockets in the last 2 games blown a 16-point lead in the last 5 minutes of regulation against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Rockets also blew what was a 12-point lead against the Miami Heat. They smoked away that fourth quarter at home against Tyler Hero in Miami. So maybe, Bobby, the Mavericks have the Rockets right where they want them, given the
I don't think so.
given maybe the woes in the
no
that they've experienced in the second half of the games.
So. I don't think so. Things were a little too easy for them in the second quarter. Now a lot of that is like, again, it's harder to defend after a miss. The Mavs are missing a lot of shots, so it was a lot of transition, it was a lot of turnovers, a lot of runouts, a lot of and ones, and then whenever Houston's scoring every time, it's hard to get in your offense. So like the one antidote to getting Kyrie a little bit of an easier time whenever he has the ball is by getting him the ball after a missed shot, force a stop, get out, get the ball to Kyrie where their defense is not set and they can't just double you willy-nilly. So like the Mavs have to win this game with their defense. They have to win this game with their defense.
I mean, the last time these two teams got together, I mean, the Rockets shot what was 41% from the field. They shot 23.5% from the three-point line. But unfortunately, the Mavericks lost tonight because they got dominated on the offensive glass and overall on the glass in general. They're going to need a special Kyrie second half to be able to pull this game out. But again, you're putting yourself in the hole to where you got to have Kyrie kind of bail you out going into the second half, much like he tried to do against Portland. And the Mavericks came up short in that game. So got to quit committing fouls. You can't turn the ball over, where the Mavericks had 8 turnovers in that first half that led to what was, again, 13 points off those turnovers for Houston and someone else. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. You can't, as much as Jaden Hardy played well in the first half, you're not going to win a game with Jaden Hardy being your leading scorer. That's just not a thing. Especially
he's having a good game.
I don't see why he's having a great game, but you're not going to win a game when Jaden Hardy's your leading scorer. It's just not. And you're playing. What?
Why? What if he has 30?
That means somebody else had to have 25, and somebody like Jaden Hardy is not going to be a guy that's going to lead your team in scoring against teams that are fully healthy.
I don't see why that has to be the case. He has 10 points. He's been good. Their defense has sucked. Like, I feel like if they were playing better defense and Clay didn't have 3, just here you go turnovers, they'd be winning right now. I think it's fine. You have to take care of the ball and you have to get stops. Like I right now without Luka, I don't think it matters who scores if Kyrie's being double teamed. You have to get stops. Like that's the thing. I guess the one thing you could say is if Hardy is playing well enough to get a lot of minutes, then your defense probably is suffering. But right now the alternative is Dinwiddie, who's giving you nothing on either end. Kyrie, who unfortunately has not been a factor for good tonight. And Grimes, so I think that Hardy and Grimes should be leading the team in minutes tonight. They've been the 2 best players offensively.
It's a recipe for a loss.
Like I mean, okay, you know, if the reality of the situation, we got to be honest. We got to be honest.
Yeah.
You ready to be honest?
Yeah.
Tanner, you ready to be honest?
Absolutely.
If the honest truth of the matter is that it's going to be really, really tough without Luka, and it's going to be really, really tough on Kyrie, especially in particular without Luka, and you have to try and keep his minutes under control. I think on a night like tonight when they're just double teaming him and he's giving you nothing, there is no reason Kyrie should play 38 minutes in this game. He played 19 minutes in the first half. There is zero reason, unless Kyrie gets it going, that he should be on the floor for 38 minutes. That is unnecessary mileage. That is playing him for no reason at all. You have another game in 2 days. Kyrie's giving you nothing. Put out the guys that are playing well. Give Kyrie a break.
It's also choosing which half-court defense you want to attack. Dallas isn't playing the doubles well. They're not getting 4-on-3 advantages. They were scoring a bit better when the second unit when it was in. I like how it looks a little bit better. I like the players on the court. Again, I think they can do micro adjustments, and I think Quentin Grimes, like I said, I think Grimes over Clay makes a bit more sense in those situations. I would be down to try that, but maybe 4-minute mark substitution, 5-minute mark substitution if that's the way you want to do it. I also think last time we heard a minute restriction, it was Najee, his first game back from illness, and Jason Kidd blew past that. Obviously, let's see, Lively has 9 minutes played. He's supposed to be 15 to 18 tonight, so he's played half of his minute restriction. I think a big he also has 3 fouls, but I think Jason Kidd is going to be he's going to struggle to keep to that minute restriction.
Yeah.
And literally the last data point we have about this is that he didn't. He just kept playing Najee when that was their only chance to win whatever game that was. I forget which one.
Maxie out there to start the quarter. What's going on? Did Leslie McCaslin just give a sideline report? What did she say?
She didn't say anything about Maxie starting the second half, but
I mean, no PJ.
Maxie is.
She didn't say anything about that?
No, it's in place of Dinwiddie, I believe.
No, Dinwiddie's out there.
PJ's not starting.
What was said? Chat, didn't you all hear it?
11:46. Yeah, you're right.
Let's see here.
11:46. Second half just started for those.
Anyone? Bueller?
I'm looking to see if there's anything with PJ.
That's really well done. Daniel Gafford is not scoring that. He's certainly not scoring in that way, obviously, but he consistently doesn't. Man, and that's an example of guy goes for the block. I don't think that was unnecessary that time. Like I was criticizing. Man, Dinwiddie not being able to throw a lob once again.
What was that?
The lob was there. You just missed the lob pass. So they literally just gave up. Like that was a double on Şengün to get it out of his hands.
Did anyone that's watching the game have audio on and hear if something was said about PJ Washington? There's no one tweeting about it either.
I don't see him on the bench.
How is there a tweet for everything, but there's not a tweet for this? Am I invisible?
I see you, Bobby.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought y'all were just also like unspokenly agreeing to ignore me. I was like, damn, maybe I am.
I'm on the search to try and see if there's anything out there.
He's not on the bench or in the game.
Oh, thanks for that.
So clearly there was no update from the television broadcast as Mark Follow was making that particular announcement. So,
well, that's awesome.
So that's become the story right now. So far, early on in the second half, Mavericks, who were down 68-54 with 10.5 minutes left in the third quarter, have started the third quarter without PJ Washington, who is not on the bench.
Oh, my God.
Or
just
on the floor.
Call timeout. Get everybody out. Just give me Goatman. I cannot watch Kyrie or Clay turn it over one more time. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm going to bird box this. I'm going to just wear a blindfold every time Kyrie touches the ball for the rest of the game. I'm sorry. It was a moment of weakness. I've recovered.
Lively with the erasure on the that's the word on the other end on Jalen Green in transition.
He's dribbling. Like
Look at that.
they're coming off the double team and dribbling into the sideline,
Like,
and dribbling into the baseline.
What a fucking stark difference of Lively guarding.
Gafford, yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's insane. What a good player.
I mean, it gets for me. I just keep going back to the beginning of the season when they had Gafford as a starter. When it was
knee sprain will not return to the game tonight.
Oh my God.
Okay, so there's the update.
Oh my God.
PJ,
2025 is the worst year ever.
PJ Washington with a right knee sprain, according to the Mavericks, will not return to tonight's game. Okay. So there's the update there.
Did we just cancel the watch long? Let's go home.
So if you're just joining us here on our DLLS Mavs watch along, PJ Washington, who did not start the second half of the game between the Mavericks and the Rockets, has been ruled out for the rest of the game with a right knee sprain, according to the Mavericks. So the Mavericks, who were already down by 9 at halftime, have now seen that deficit increase to 16 as the Rockets are up 70-54 with just under 9.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
What day in your life would you like to relive?
Oh, man. That's a great question.
Tim?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking.
Okay, wait a minute. So I didn't know this.
Why did you ask that?
Why not?
Real quick, did you guys know this? Babies born this generation will be the newest generation called Generation Beta.
Ha! Bunch of betas.
They're mogged already.
Dude, I'm going to bully so many
I
kids.
know that. Okay, so here it is. So baby boomers, 1950 to 1964. Gen X, 1965 to 1979. Millennials, shout out to us, 1980 to 1994. Gen Z is 1995 to 2009. Gen Alpha is 2010 to 2024. And now Beta will be 2025 to 2039.
Yeah, 10 years from now, I'm just going to bully every kid that I see. Just call them a bunch of betas.
Well, you can bully them now.
You think they're going to like reclaim the word beta? Be like, it actually doesn't mean, it's not a bad thing, actually. It's a compliment. What will, if that's the case, then what will alpha males call themselves?
What?
Spencer Dinwiddie, meet me in the principal's office.
Again, if you're just joining us, PJ Washington has been ruled out for the second half with a right knee sprain, according to the Mavericks. So PJ Washington will not be returning to tonight's game, unfortunately. And that is why Maxi Kleber started the second half for the Mavericks.
And Şengün got that kind of going downhill. Saw Lively in his way. Chose to pass. Dallas gets a stop.
2 stops in a row, 2 Kyrie one-on-one buckets. You want him to get the ball in an easy situation. Again, you have to do it with defense. You have to attack an unbalanced defense before they get set, before they can set up the rules and steer him toward the sideline.
Mavericks were down by as many as 16 with 9.5 minutes left in the third quarter, are in the midst of a 6-2 run right now to cut the deficit to 10 at 72-62 after Kyrie Irving's transition bucket, coming with just under 8 minutes left in the third quarter. So the Mavericks down 72-62. Again, we really appreciate you joining us here on our DLLS Mavs watch along. That is Bobby Crowell. That's Tim Cato. I'm Kevin Gray. Coming up in our post-game show, we'll be joined by our national NBA insider, Mark Stein, as well. He'll be providing his thoughts on tonight's game as the Mavericks look to snap a 2-game losing streak. Rockets trying to do the same as the Mavericks conclude their 4-game road trip tonight before they come home on Friday to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Najee Marshall will be serving the final game of his 4-game suspension on Friday against Cleveland. We will wait to see if PJ Washington will be available to play in that game on Friday, as he is not playing the rest of tonight's game with a right knee sprain. So a lot to consider here over the next, of course, the rest of this game, but also over the next day or so as well, as the Mavericks get ready to return home to Dallas on Friday.
If you could take one prop from any movie set, what would it be?
One prop from any movie set, what would it be? Oh, that's a great question. So it can be anything?
One prop.
Give me one of James Bond's Aston Martins.
Ooh, okay. Well,
Pretty good.
yeah. I don't think that you can just create some rule like the cars don't move because they do. Okay.
That's all I wanted to clarify. I was
nothing that has like real life practical like value.
The knife from 12 Angry Men.
Oh,
It's a pretty important plot point.
That's a good answer from Cam. Iron Man's helmet.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a pretty important
I know.
plot point.
Give me Captain America's
shield.
The shield?
Yeah.
His knee definitely buckled for a sec there.
Is that right at the end of the half?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the good thing, though, about knee sprains is that you can just bounce back from those, and everything's totally fine, guys.
Yeah.
Everything is good.
In fact, knee is basically the best injury you can have. Famously, knees are very simple, and there's not really anything bad that could happen to them except for, like, little knocks.
I think that I have decided that sports are not a good thing. Sports are bad for society. We should ban sports. How do y'all feel about that?
On what grounds?
It's not fair.
I lost my fantasy football matchup by 1 point.
Ooh,
the championship. So, missed out on some money. You win?
No, I did not win. No.
None of them?
No, I was only in the finals in one league.
Well, my apologies.
Thanks.
Kyrie's starting to get it going a little bit here in the third quarter. He's going to need to because he's going to have to carry the offense in a lot of ways.
So Derek Lively has remained on the court longer than he did to start the first quarter. Just as we're watching his minutes restriction.
Well, it's almost like now you have to kind of violate your own game plan because you have Maxey that now is the starting four. And you have no Najee. So you're probably going to get Dwight at backup 4.
Gafford's been virtually unplayable.
Yeah. Well, and they just don't have anybody else they can play.
Yeah.
No Najee, no Luka, no Clay. Who's the backup power forward? It's got to be Dwight or Omax.
Which Omax hasn't even gotten into the game yet. So, by the way, to Tim's point, we had mentioned that Live was on a 15 to 18 minutes restriction. He's already at that 15-minute mark already. So I think he's going to go past that tonight.
Would you rather be a whale or a lion?
A whale.
Well,
I agree.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, would you say
Just as I
lion?
say that here comes Max Prosper into the game.
I thought lion would be the easy choice. No.
Why?
Lions
It's like
got to
the most
work
badass
so
animal in like.
they got to
all
work
of
so
Africa.
hard for their food.
Let Tanner answer.
No, that was it. Your lions are just awesome. Whales are like I don't know, just whales.
Because they're awesome.
Whales just have a very simple life. Feels like.
Yeah, they don't really have to try for anything.
Yeah.
Lions
don't really
gotta,
have any predators.
hunt
Well,
stuff.
if you're like a blue whale, you don't really have any predators, right?
I don't think so.
Like,
I mean,
sharks
humans,
don't attack.
humans, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I was gonna say humans.
Sharks only
lions
attack
have
the
to-
smaller whales. I
Lions
think.
have to swat flies out of the way all the time, and I don't like bugs.
Lively has been the Mavs' best player. This is unreal from him. This is incredible stuff. Once again, what a player. What a fucking player.
Halfway through the third quarter, Mavs down by 10, 75-65, as the Mavericks are trying to climb their way back into it. As Derek Lively goes to the bench, we will see how much more he's going to play tonight. He's at the 15-minute mark in terms of his 15 to 18 minutes.
Daniel Gafford.
Oh, boy. I mean, what happened immediately since Daniel Gafford gets in the game?
And it's like
like,
it's not the jump, it's not the contest itself that was wrong. It was the fact that he wasn't connected to his guy. And then
so you're just out of position. Just
Good pass from Grimes.
DCS, have you all noticed NBA games camera quality? It's usually 720 or barely 1080. You're actually right. Most local broadcasts are in 720. National broadcasts, sometimes 1080, but most local telecasts across the league are going to be in 720p.
Ooh!
And it's not just the defense being played. It's Şengün knows Gafford can't guard him. Şengün knows. Şengün is not trying that on Lively.
No,
he can't.
he's not.
Like, he knows not to. It's a completely different, just, oh my Lord.
Oh boy.
And
There you go.
unnecessary
At least he won the fight for the ball after that.
yes. But yeah, unnecessary attempt at a
A
block.
block.
Took him out of position, offensive rebound. It's just rough.
Where have we said that before?
What is Kyrie
Are we ever
doing?
getting a game in 4K? Probably not. Probably not. It's so expensive to do that. I can't imagine that's going to happen anytime soon.
I think
right?
we will.
Like, imminently?
There was a game in
I
the
don't know now, but
there was a game in the NFL where they had the game itself wasn't fully in full K or in 4K or 8K or whatever, but they had certain highlights or certain plays that were in 4K and 8K. When I tell you it was the most immersive experience I've ever seen, I was like, this is crazy. I felt like I was right there. Yeah, it's highly expensive to do that stuff.
Dude, what are you biting on that? Oh, my God. Stop. Stop.
Timeout.
Stop. Stop.
Tanner Gafford should not play the rest
Stop
of this game. It's not working.
Everything.
And, it doesn't
DJ, scratch the record.
Did you see Jason Kidd get up off the bench after that? So while we have a second, it means
he's down to minus 26.
It's 81-67 with 3.5 minutes or 3:55 left in the third quarter. Let's have a quick chat real quick because, unless the Mavericks make a move here, this is what you've got right now until Luka comes back. Like what can you do if you're the Mavericks based off of what your personnel is going to be most likely if you don't make a move at the trade deadline?
Guys have to play better. That's literally it. You have to play better.
Yeah. Because we're just a little over a month from the NBA trade deadline. NBA trade deadline is on February 6th. So we're in trade, conversation in season.
Yeah, so
now.
they have a lot of players that are really good in their role.
Yeah.
That's I've said it so many times. Whenever everybody's healthy, this team is probably the deepest in the league. They're so effective. They're so versatile. They're so dynamic. But right now, you got no Luka. You're probably not going to have PJ for at least a little bit. Lively is just chronically in and out of the lineup. Najee punched a guy. So,
as Şengün rips it from Daniel Gafford.
And then he just falls down. He is really a frustrating player to watch play basketball, man. So you are, you're strong enough to wrestle away from Gafford, but then everybody has to play better. You are not in your role anymore. Whenever Luka's out of the lineup, you're not in your role. You have to be able to give more. Can you do that or not? If you can, they're going to win. If guys can do more than they are asked to, they will win. If guys can't, they will lose whenever they play against good teams. And there are some guys on this team.
And they're about to play a lot of good teams here.
Yeah, and there are guys on this team, Gafford, Dinwiddie in particular, sometimes Hardy, certainly anybody further down the pecking order than that, guys like Omax, that are not as effective against good teams.
By the way, Alperen Şengün picked up a technical foul for elbow and Daniel Gafford there. So Kyrie Irving getting a free throw.
I see his point. He's really sad that he got called for a tech for that. The only reason that he elbowed Gafford in the head is because he was flopping so hard to get the call. He didn't actually mean to elbow Gafford in the head.
Kind of like how Max didn't mean to slap Şengün in the face earlier.
Yeah, but
Speaking
the Rockets
of
got
which,
2 free throws for that. The Mavs got 1.
Did y'all see what Kleb made us for Bobby's quote?
Nice.
It's beautiful.
Incredible.
That looks really nice.
It's beautiful.
I like that. Can we get that on a T-shirt for Bobby?
Yeah.
Like that would look really good on a T-shirt for him.
Man, that was going to be a layup. It was definitely a foul beforehand, but Grimes played that really well.
DC says this is a fun experience. Would be dope to join up for more watch alongs. We are going to do more watch alongs. We are. In the second half of the year. Not like every game or anything, but certainly we'll be doing at least a few a month. But yeah, I mean, like going back to what can they do without Luka, and now probably without, they're 4 of 11 on free throws. Holy shit!
Yeah.
What they can do without Luka is, they have to trust the guys that they have. Your only option is for guys to play better because you are probably not going to be able to make a big trade, like a meaningful, consequential trade.
And, I mean, and part of the reason why I bring that up too is you start thinking about the opponents that the Mavericks have coming up here. I mean, you got Cleveland on Friday. I mean, that's Jared Allen. That's Evan Mobley. You got, obviously, Nikola Jokic coming up. You've got Anthony Davis, Lord forbid. You got him coming up here with the Lakers. Obviously, Oklahoma City part of that as well. Like,
He's way behind the line. What are you biting on that for? Everyone on this team bites on pump fakes. You got to stop biting on pump fakes, dude. Fred VanVleet was 40 feet from the rim, and Grimes jumped past him. Come on.
Jayshawn Tate's three-pointer with 2:52 left in the third quarter puts the Rockets up 86-69 on the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks in the third quarter so far just 17 points overall in this third period. Mavericks shooting which is weird. They're actually 7 of 9 from the field in the third quarter. But the Rockets are 3 of 5 from downtown. Alperen Sengun with 8 points so far. Jabari Smith with 7 points for Houston. Meanwhile, Kyrie Irving, he's got 8 points. The high man for the Dallas Mavericks so far. He's got 8 of the 17 here in the period. Mavericks are 3 of 9 from the free throw line so far in the third quarter as well. So,
what's the best concert you've ever been to?
Ooh.
Kishibashi at Kessler.
Usher in Vegas. Went to see him in his residency at the tail end of November of 2023, and it's the best show I've ever seen.
I've enjoyed 2 Mitski concerts quite a bit. I've been to 4, but 2 of them really stand out. Kishibashi for sure. I know I'm missing some obvious ones.
Would you rather always have BO and not know it, or always smell BO on everyone else?
Always smell it. Yeah.
I think same.
Oh.
Would you rather lose all your teeth or lose a day of your life every time you kiss someone?
I mean, it's got to be teeth.
I think so, probably. Yeah. You can cosmetically do that.
Exactly. You can fix that. After New Year's, I wouldn't have much longer left.
Would you rather be gassy on a first date or on your wedding night?
Wedding night, obviously.
Why? Obviously.
Because wedding night is not first impressions. I mean, like, everybody builds it up to be this big thing, but it's also built up in the very specific context of, I don't know how much I want to say on stream. I think wedding night in, let's just say, religious cultures where you are experiencing a thing for the first time.
Oh, yeah? Like what? I'm not very familiar with many religious cultures.
Well, I'm gonna let you Google this, but I'm just saying the wedding night is not as important in that context.
Okay, interesting.
Whereas a first date, if you could choose like any first date, like just a first date you went on that you're never going to talk to that person ever again in your life, then I guess that's fine. But yeah, if you're trying to make a good first impression with somebody.
Ardell says that producer John Anderson sharded on a first date, true story, and he got a second date. They talked about it on Boston radio. He and his date talked about it on the radio? Or he talked about it on his radio show? And one, Gafford fouled Omax. It's 86-71, a minute and a half left in the third quarter.
I know he's been bad, but it seems a little bit much to say he's a Houston Rocket now. By the way, I called for more Grimes minutes, and he has not exactly delivered either end. So
consistency. It's a very tough thing. I learned that from Harrison Barnes. HB was kind of a Quentin Grimes level player for the Warriors. Came to the Mavs and was paid like a Luka caliber player, and they tried to involve him to a really high degree. And the team was lousy, but he took that. He kind of was embracing that challenge, and I talked to him a lot because there was just not much else going on with the Mavs in that era. And he said like the number one thing that he was trying to learn and trying to develop was not like necessarily a skill or anything like that. It was consistency. Can you be the same guy not just every week or every game? Can you be the same guy every quarter? Can you be the same guy every time you're on the floor, every shift? Can you be the same guy every time you get the ball at the elbow or in the corner?
Yeah.
Or face up,
even
top
possession to possession.
Yeah. Can you be the same guy? And that isn't like every player is going to go on bursts where they're going to get hot, score 10 points in 3 minutes, and they're only going to end the game with 20 points or something. So like that's to be expected. But can you just be the same level of threat? Can you be the same level of productivity night to night? Like Harrison Barnes did not become a superstar here, but he, for what it's worth, all right, his first year in Dallas was 16-17. That year and the year after, he led the league in games scoring. I forget what it was. It was some very specific thing. Like I think he led the league in games scoring between 18 and 20 points. Like he had more than anybody else. He was going to get 18 or 19 or 20 points on 12 or 13 or 14 shots or whatever it was every single night. Sometimes he'd score more. A couple times he'd score less. But for the most part, he was going to give you what he was going to give you every single time. And it's a very difficult thing. It's much harder to do than it sounds.
Which Maverick is least likely to get in a fight?
Fist fight?
On-court fight.
Luka.
I was going to say Omax too.
You see, if Kyrie's going to get doubled like that, you got to get out of the corner, dude.
And this is what I meant. Like Klay Thompson is not doing that.
Yeah.
Now, that was not the best, most fundamental job from Kyrie to create that 4-on-3 advantage. But there was a 4-on-3 advantage. They got to it, and you get a layup out of it. You get a dunk. So I will say, in that specific context, like that's what I wanted to see. Or that's what I was thinking. But shoot it.
Oh, boy. We are at the end of three quarters in Houston. The Mavericks are down 89-75 going into the fourth quarter. Rockets outscoring Dallas 28-23 in that third period there. Kyrie Irving with 8 points to lead the Mavericks. Quentin Grimes with 5 points. He went 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Dylan Brooks had 8 points. Alperen Sengun also had 8 points. To pace the Rockets, Jabari Smith had 7 in that quarter. Rockets shot 4 of 8 from 3, going 50% from downtown. Mavericks did not make a single three-pointer in that third quarter. Rockets also, which is crazy. I mean, the Mavericks, they only took 14 shots in the third quarter. They went 9 of 14 in the third period, but again, only took 14 shots. Rockets went 11 of 25 from the field for 44%. Mavericks took 11 free throws in that third period, only made 5 of them, though. So it's hard to get back into the game when you're not making threes and you're not making free throws either when you're Dallas. So Mavericks got a real uphill climb going into the fourth quarter, trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. They're going to have to overcome a 14-point deficit in order to do it. Just to give you some context on what the Rockets have done over the last couple of games, they smoked away what was a 16-point lead in the last 5 minutes of regulation against the Minnesota Timberwolves to lose that game. Then they lose a double-digit lead and had a terrible fourth quarter in their last outing against the Miami Heat. And, of course, Ahmed Thompson got suspended for that game, of course, with the fight that he had with Tyler Hero. So the Rockets have not done well as far as in clutch situations as of late. So if you're looking for some semblance of positivity potentially going into the fourth quarter, there is that, as Houston's not been able to really maintain double-digit leads, which is what they have right now. Rockets have led by as many as 17 so far in this game. The turning point of this game so far is the second quarter, where the Rockets used what was a 23-4 run to give themselves a big lead. They outscored the Mavericks 37-22 in that second period as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Appreciate all of you joining us here on our DLLS Mavs watch along, our second one of the season. During our post-game show, our national NBA insider Mark Stein will be joining us as well live in studio. So you'll look forward to seeing our guy Mark Stein. Hopefully the Mavericks can climb themselves back into it. We will be right here with you. Again, appreciate you joining us here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to DLLS Sports. Hopefully you're enjoying it as well with the random 2025 questions from Bobby so far as well. Providing some levity and some entertainment because, whoo, it's been a tough one so far for the Mavericks tonight. By the way, Derek Lively back on the floor to start the fourth quarter for the Mavericks as well. The story also in this game, PJ Washington did not start the second half for the Mavericks. He injured his knee in the first half, his right knee in the first half, and left the game with a right knee sprain. So, of course, the Mavericks return home on Friday to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. We will try to find out more about PJ Washington's status over the next couple of days here. So,
Tim, I have a question.
What's that?
Would this be the worst loss of the year?
No.
No, think about it. Of the year.
I just think, I mean, Chicago, lost to Washington today.
I was trying to go along with your joke.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago lost to Washington today. 125-107. Like, that's a pretty bad loss today.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, getting smoked by the Washington Wizards in the year 2025, that's pretty bad, Tanner.
That is bad. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I had to find some way not to give in. I was being very stubborn about it.
They got smoked by 18 to Washington?
Yep.
Jeez. Klay Thompson with
Big comeback starting.
Back-to-back three-pointers for the Mavericks as they've cut the deficit to 95-84.
Watch. They're going to get this to 3 points yet again.
With just under 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Nice job, dude.
I don't understand.
Nice job, dude.
Was that not offensive goaltending?
Mm.
It's a great block.
Oh, whoa.
Wow. 2 great blocks.
Dude, that was cool. That was a cool play. All right. Grimes just blocked Cam Whitmore on the break. There's 8:35 left. It's a 15-point game.
I bet Dallas cuts this to at least 5.
I don't see how that's going to happen.
If Lively plays 9 minutes this half.
I mean, quarter? There's 8 minutes left in the game.
Yes, quarter. If they just completely do away with Lively's minutes restriction, he's at, what, 19? So, yeah, he's already over it. You play him 6 more minutes.
Holy moly.
Good rebound.
Nice pass. Good footwork. Grimes had a little bit of a shaky stretch there, but he's been pretty good.
He has been pretty good. Yeah, overall, speaking of the totality of his game, he's been
nice play
one
by
of their best
Lively.
Players. Get it ahead. He was open.
Oh, thingy.
This thingy? Tanner. Christ the Redeemer.
Cristo Redentor.
Yeah, well.
That's Latin, right? That's not Portuguese.
I think it
or
is
that
Portuguese.
Is it?
It could be Latin. That's a good point. I've never thought about that. I guess I always assumed it was Portuguese.
Yeah, that large statue of the religious figure Jesus Christ is actually calling for a transition take foul. That's what he's doing.
The signs were there.
Yeah. Would we be able to put a live box score at the bottom? So we have done that in the past. The technology is very difficult on the station with this specific situation. We did that on our last watch along, and we're experimenting with ways to get it displayed all the time. But there's a lot of rules and there's a lot of stuff that we have to do in order to do that. But
we have someone from Brazil in the comments.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Well, supposedly.
Cristo Redentor. So that is Portuguese. Heck yeah. All right. I'm sure it's not pronounced Cristo Redentor the way that I'm saying, but Grimes? Oh my God, Cam Whitmore is having the game of his life. I'm calling game. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. It's over. I'm going to get a sparkling water. Would y'all like anything?
I'm loaded up.
Oh, yeah, I'm good, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had my fill of. With 6:50 left in the fourth quarter, Mavericks down 104-86. Yeah, not a lot of great things to say about tonight. Cam Whitmore's having a spectacular game. He's got 18 points. He's 7 of 9 from the field, 3 of 4 from downtown. Rock has got 5 guys in double figures. Alperen Sengun with 19. Jabari Smith with 12. Dylan Brooks has got 19. It's just not been pretty. And again, the numbers are just really weird from this game. I mean, the Mavericks are 34 of 67 from the field. They're shooting nearly 51% from the field tonight, and yet find themselves down by 18 points. So, unfortunately, just another disappointing night for the Mavericks as they are on their way to their third straight loss, and will finish. It appears finish this road trip 1-3 after what was a promising start against the Phoenix Suns. They lose consecutive games to the Blazers, Kings, and now what appears will be to the Houston Rockets as well. And Tim, it doesn't get any easier. It's like we talked about it during the pregame show. The Mavericks are playing 16 games this month, and over the next couple of weeks, you've got games against the Rockets, as we mentioned tonight. You got the Cavs on Friday. You got a couple of dates with Denver coming up. The Lakers coming to town as well. You got the Thunder on the 17th of January. Like, this is and that's, yeah, I was just talking about the first couple of weeks of January in terms of what they've got schedule wise. Like, this is not the ideal start for the 2025 portion of the season for the Mavericks here.
And I mean, we're keeping it a buck here. I'm keeping it 55th Street with all of y'all. With no Luka, with no PJ, with no Najee, what do you think is going to happen? Like, again, unless guys play beyond themselves. But instead, the opposite is happening. Spencer Dinwiddie, what are you doing tonight? Daniel Gafford, where are you? You know, they need guys to play above Maxey. Has Maxey contributed anything? Like, they need these guys.
Got 3 points.
Yeah, that's season high. Like, they need these guys to.
He had a 15-7 game.
That's
Relax.
true. No, I know. I'm teasing. But they need these guys to consistently outperform their season averages.
I mean, I think getting 30, 35 minutes out of Derek Lively, that changes a lot for this team.
I agree.
I think that's going to help a lot. I am a little bit, I don't want to say disappointed. I guess just concerned that Kyrie Irving really struggles when you double team.
Oh,
this goes back to, you have to be a very good defense to be able to do this. But when good defenses decide they're just going to throw two at Kyrie, I think him as a younger player would, blow by them. He would split them. But as his athleticism fades a little bit, as anybody's would, and when they're in their mid-30s, I think that's like something that it's on tape. It's very much on tape. And it's very much, I think, something we're going to see going into the playoffs. I'll say this. Like, things seem bad right now. There's still zero doubt in my mind. Things are not going so bad they're going to miss the playoffs.
They're going to be outside of the top 6 by like this time next week.
Yeah, if we're getting the scary part is that as you go through the month of January, you start looking at not just who you're playing, but the other teams that you're competing for top 6 spots. Again,
the season doesn't end in January though. The season ends in April, so they still have some time.
Yeah,
I mean, what do you guys?
They got to get healthy. I mean, they just have to get healthy.
I mean, I just think about all the pressure now that's going to be put on them because, I mean, this is where my mind has gone as we've gone from the end of 2024 into the beginning of 2025 is, the most optimistic timeline for Luka would be 6 weeks. Give him a month to heal. You give him a week or two for ramp up. So we're talking about, 6 weeks basically. That's getting also very close to the
no.
Yeah. That's also getting very close, thank you, to the All-Star break. Maybe he plays a game or two again with the most, the best timeline you can get. Maybe he plays a game or two before the All-Star break. But before that, you're not going to see him. So
All-Star break is the 16th, so that means their last game is, I think they play a game that Friday or Thursday.
Their schedule.
Dallas needed that one.
So the All-Star break is Their final game is on February 13th. They've got a 1, 2, 3, 4. They've actually have a 5-game homestand to end the proverbial first half of the year, February 8th through the 13th. Those are games against Houston, Sacramento, Golden State, Miami, and the Pelicans. Or excuse me, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, 4 games before the All-Star break. Home games against the Rockets, Kings, Warriors, and Heat. Again, realistically, Luka, with the best of timelines, plays maybe a couple of games before the All-Star break. So let's just say he plays the last 2 games of pre-All-Star break. That's February. Well, he'll play one of those 2 games because that's a nasty way to end that first half as well. It's on a back-to-back. They have Golden State and Miami on February 12th and 13th. So I would imagine
Luka going to be an All-Star this year?
I'm sorry?
Is Luka going to be an All-Star?
No.
He would need to win the fan vote, right?
Yeah.
There's no way coach is going to vote him in. He's missed like half the season. By the time that
22 games. I don't think that's enough.
Yeah.
And like by the time the All-Star game happens, he's going to have played like 25 or certainly less than 30.
Well, no, I mean by the time the votes come in, he will have 22, which he has currently.
Yeah.
Even if he comes. Well,
if he's not an All-Star, that's great. That's a week and a half off. That's sick. I would love that.
I think even if he came back before, he probably wouldn't do the All-Star game. I don't think he's back on February 1st. I think he's probably back after the All-Star break.
Whew, that is bad news.
And that's where I was trying to get to, is that I don't know if we see Luka. That's ultimately where I was eventually going to go, is I don't know if you see him before the All-Star break.
Better not be the case.
Which, again, that would put you, if he comes back after the All-Star break, that would put you at February 23rd. It's a road game against Golden State. That's a full 2 months, or nearly 2 months since the injury on Christmas Day.
Mavs have to play 3 road games at OKC and 3 road games at Golden State this year, huh?
Yeah.
Awesome. The NBA Cup schedule is just perfect.
Yeah.
No need to change any of it.
So we're talking about, if we don't see him again until February 23rd at the earliest, we're talking about 16 games missed already in the month of January, and the last 3 games of the month of December. So we're talking about 19 games, and then
that's all. That's quite a leap, though. I know that there's only like a week or 2 in February they have games, but like they said he's evaluated in a month, which is January 25th. So there's a chance that it's January 31st that he's back.
Well, I guess that was saying like the ideal, because I would imagine a week for ramp up potentially.
Yeah, maybe longer, but maybe it's only a week. And then if he's back on the 31st, then he's playing. That they have like 8 games before the All-Star break.
Yeah, like that's the ideal scenario.
I don't think that. I think it's quite a bold thing to say. Like, yeah, he's out till the break.
No, I'm not saying that he is.
Games,
No. I'm just saying I would not be surprised. Is what I'm saying. I would not be surprised if he only played a game or 2 before the All-Star break, or if we didn't see him after the All-Star break entirely.
We already started the show. We're like halfway through we're almost to the 59-minute alert. Where have you been? Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't play until the All-Star break, they are not going to be a top 6 team. Like, he has to be back before then. He has to be. They will be in the play-in if he misses until the break.
Quentin Grimes has a very nice hesitation move.
Quentin Grimes, good player.
Yeah.
Good basketball player.
Arda, I don't know if Nico can do anything by the time.
Maxey got hit in the face.
Flagrant 1?
Maxey, that's 4 games, bud.
It's just a flagrant 1.
A lot of elbows to the face tonight. A lot of strikes to the face.
Are the Mavs challenging?
They're going to lose it.
It's use it or lose it, I guess, but still, jeez. Yeah, there's not much that they can do. I mean, it's not like there's no like free agent guy that's going to change the trajectory, and you don't really have the ammo to go trade for certainly a player anywhere near Luka's caliber. So it's just I mean, I guess the formula and the level of desperation I think does change if PJ's out for like a while.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If PJ's out for a month, you have to make a season-saving trade. But I don't think he's going to be out that long.
I am, based off everything I'm hearing from your tone and tenor, I think I'm slightly more optimistic about this team stealing wins if they can get everybody else healthy. They can, once Najee is back, once Lively is off his minutes restriction, PJ's a big question mark. If he's missing a couple weeks, I agree. That is devastating.
They're 1-7 in games without him so far this year.
I think this team can still win games. They lost to Portland and they lost to Sacramento, but those were very, very, very specific to the players absent for those games.
Verse Clee at Mem versus Lau back to back.
Huh?
Like maybe you're winning one of those.
Oh, Cleveland lost. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Clee Mem Lau, the tri-code.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Like it's just tough, man. Like I agree that they're good enough to win games without Luka for sure. But are they good enough to string 5 wins together in a row without Luka? Like
3 weeks
hard.
You don't think that they can lose to Cleveland, Memphis, and then beat Lakers and then beat Portland?
Sure, they could.
Yeah. Then consecutive games against Denver. I think they could split that.
Do you trust Kyrie and Clay and Lively to be able to bring the juice on the second night of a back-to-back?
And that's the tricky thing. Like,
how many of those back-to-backs are Kyrie is he going to play?
And then like the winnable game the week after is at New Orleans, but that's the second night of a back-to-back, and it's a 7 p.m. tip-off. The previous night you're playing on national TV at 8:30, so it's a 22.5-hour time in between tips with national TV breaks, so it's a longer game, and you have to travel.
And that might be a prime game to sit Kyrie.
Like it's
against the Pelicans.
Spooky. It's spooky. And
but
then
you can't sit star players in national TV games anymore.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. He would sit the next night against New Orleans if you're trying to give him a breather.
Then you're forfeiting that game. Like it's
again,
really tough.
We're getting to the conundrum here.
Yeah.
That's like
I know.
As you're building and building and building here, you're starting to see how this is starting to potentially.
The schedule does not line up well. Like their winnable games are on the second nights of back-to-back. I think that
catch the ball.
It's kind of behind him, but yeah, catch the ball.
You gotta catch that. Doesn't matter. Hit him in the hands. Oh man.
And honestly, I don't like the way that they handled the Kyrie back-to-back that they just had with the Portland situation.
Yeah. 18 turnovers. Just not going to win many games doing that. Not going to win many games doing that. Points off turnovers 22-13.
Yeah, it can't happen. It can't happen.
I'm just going to say again, Dallas is going to finish this game with Derek Lively as a +5 in 20 minutes.
So he played a couple minutes above the restriction that he came coming.
I mean, I think if this was a tight game right now, then
he'd probably be still playing. Yeah, I agree. Gosh, that is going to stick out like a sore thumb, man. Daniel Gafford in 11 minutes and 45 seconds. My man was a -27.
Dallas also gets Exum back soon, maybe. Maybe we'll ask Mark Stein about that. Ask him yet again, and he can give us the same answer he's been giving us every time, but it wouldn't be us if we didn't ask him.
I like Exum playing with Luka more than I like Exum playing with Kyrie.
That said, I like Exum attacking 4 and 3s best of maybe any non-star on this roster.
Oh, yeah. Exum would help in this game for sure.
Yeah. So he is very good at that.
That's another turnover, completely unforced for no reason.
And that's something
Who
we
just turned it
haven't
over?
we haven't talked about
Hardy, I
a
think.
lot as of late. But that has become a problem over this season for the Mavericks is the amount of turnovers that they commit, night in and night out. It has not been pretty from a turnover standpoint for this team.
This isn't a fun thing to say, but some of the teams, some of the most talented or like most, there's more shot creators on this roster than any other team of recent history. That's where it comes from. I think it's a better thing for the team overall, but if you're going to empower non-stars to do star-like things here and there, you're going to get a higher share of turnovers than you would from a star who is, the ultra efficient in those situations.
The white flag has been raised, but at what cost? Kyrie checks out with the Mavs down 15, having played 37 minutes.
Jeez.
And the
Yeah.
Mavs will play
boy.
again on Friday.
Should we just end it here and come back for the postgame? I don't think we need to do a watch along for final 154.
Well, what about, this is prime Brandon Williams territory. What are you talking about? Goat's in the game, dude.
They're going to come see us talking here in
Opening
minutes.
segment, we need to break down.
15.
Oh, my God. Dwight Powell just absolutely stymied Alperen Şengün.
Powell was their second best center tonight.
Powell's their best outside of Lively. This is their their second best center tonight. Yeah.
I do want to make this clear, and we'll talk about this on the postgame too, but we can be raw and unfiltered right now. We can say what we really think.
Yeah, we fucking can.
Every player is entitled to bad games. Every player is entitled to go on a little cold spell. But, again, there are troubling signs about what's going on at the backup 5 spot.
Yeah.
There are trends that carried over even whenever things are going well. And now when all the things that were going well are not,
It's getting louder.
The trends become, it becomes a little more difficult to ignore. There needs to be some stuff figured out. He'll never go minus 27 in 9 minutes or whatever it is again.
It was 12, but yeah.
12. That will almost certainly never happen again, but it happened.
It's going to be harder from a trade value perspective. It's going to be harder to trick teams when Luka's not out there inflating. He is very much an extension of Luka, or Luka uses him as an extension of his own skill set.
Mm-hmm.
And
Also to the guards' detriment, none of the other guards on the team have demonstrated consistent lob throwing ability.
Klay Thompson might have done it the most.
Yeah.
And that's just a player who doesn't get
Let's go,
into
Omax.
lob throwing situations as often enough. But literally, Klay Thompson is probably the second best lob thrower after Kyrie on this team. After Luka, after Kyrie.
That is not good.
Whew.
Remember when Quentin Grimes threw one in preseason though?
Oh,
Who did he
no,
throw that to?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Gafford or Lively.
I don't remember that.
One of the big men.
Or Jamarian Sharp. I don't know. It was not
I do not.
It is over in Houston. The Mavericks fall 110-99 as the Mavericks lose their third straight game. They finish up the road trip 1-3 as they get ready to head back to Dallas on Friday to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. That'll do it for our watch along here. Come back with us in about 15 minutes here on the DLLS Mavs postgame show for our postgame show, where we'll be joined by our National NBA insider, Mark Stein.
You got Notion, Mark?
We appreciate all of you joining us here on our watch along. Come back with us here in about 15 minutes on DLLS Sports for the DLLS Mavs postgame show. Appreciate y'all. We'll talk to you later.
We all silly like the mayor.